Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is very exciting. I'm going to be using a brand new Dina Wakley release stencil called Pensive Face on my journal pages. So I'm working in my Square Dilutions journal and I'm just starting off by adding some gesso to the pages, no surprises there. Then I'm using Dina Wakley Lemon. I'm just adding that onto the left hand side of the page with a bit of water on my brush as well. And then turquoise. I'm just going to be kind of blending that in a little bit, leaving a bit of white space, but I'm not really worrying or overthinking about that. And then finally some magenta on the other side. And you can see that I am encouraging these colours to sort of blend into each other. Then I'm using another new Dina Wakley stencil called Bumps, and I'm just using a baby wipe and removing some of the paint through the stencil. So then I'm turning to the next two pages. Sorry about the dog barking. I think someone's come to the door. Just adding some gesso to the next two pages, and I'm going to be doing the same process on these pages, but this time I'm starting off with magenta, and then the turquoise, and then the lemon. And again, I'm just blending them in. So these two sets of pages are going to work together with a cutout page in between them, and I'm going to be using the stencil on both pages. Again, I'm using the Bumps stencil and removing through the stencil using a baby wipe. It's a really, really useful technique. I find myself doing this quite a lot when I want to just get a bit of pattern onto the page. So then I'm using another new stencil called Lined Circles. I love circles, can't get enough of them. So this again, I'm just using the lemon paint. I'm going to be using the same colours, and I'm repeating the process on both sets of pages so that they work together and there's a cohesiveness through the pages. This is another new stencil called Marks, and I'm just using the turquoise. I'm just picking out some of the marks on there and the lines and just adding those into the page, different directions and in different places. And then again I'm going to use the magenta paint and the same stencil, but this time a different pattern on there, just the one at the top, and just add some areas of that as well. So you can see there's quite a bit of interest in the background now, but these colours do work really nicely together to create quite a pretty background. So then this is the Pensive Face stencil. It's really pretty. It's very pretty, it's striking, and I wanted it to be really striking, and that's why I'm using black. So using black, it'll make the other colours pop as well. It'll also make this image really stand out, which was what I wanted. I'm using a blending tool as well. You notice that I've clipped this stencil down just to try and help it stay in place. So I've put it on that left-hand page, and then I'm going to flip the stencil over as well, and then do the same thing. I'm just clipping it in just to try and help it stay put. And then the same thing on this side as well. If you didn't want the image to be quite as bold in black, you could use night, or you could use a grey colour, a dark grey colour. But I really did want it to stand out because it is very striking, as you can see. Okay, so then, because it felt like it was kind of floating in the middle of the page, I decided that I would add a black border all the way round the pages. I wasn't worrying too much about keeping them straight. That doesn't matter. Once it was dry, I then flipped over and did the same on the second set of pages. So you can see that whatever I do on the first set of pages, I'm repeating here as well. Okay, so then I've got this text. It's like a scripty text stamp, and it's from Stampers Anonymous, I think. I'm using some black archival ink, and I'm just popping a bit of stamping here and there on the page. So here, that bit I've just done on her face ended up looking a bit moustachy, so I did rub it away a bit just to fade it away. I shouldn't really have put it there, that was very silly. Then I'm just using a white gel pen and just roughly outlining the border. Sort of quite scribbly lines. Again, I'm going to do it on the second set of pages as well. Okay. And then I'm going to use this stencil set by Dina Wakeley. This is the alphabet one, the masks and stencil. And I'm just writing the word reflect. I'm trying to line up the letters so that it'll all sit nicely. And then I'm going to cut these letters out. These letters work really well for this because they don't have any sort of parts missing. You know, like in the R, there isn't a sort of centre hole at the top of it, so they are really easy to use as cutouts, and it is quite effective when it's finished. And also, if you cut them out carefully, you've then got the letters that you can use for something else. It was a bit fiddly, but it was worth it. When I'd finished, I was really pleased with how it looked. This one did overlap a little bit onto the border, but I wasn't really precious about that, it was fine. And then I'm just rubbing away the pencil marks that are left. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same process on this side, but obviously you can see that on this side, the word that we've just done is going to be back to front, but it kind of doesn't matter because it goes with the idea of the pages. So once I'd cut that word out, then I decided that I was going to do some botanical doodling on the pages as well, just to kind of frame the image a little bit. So I'm just using quite a thick nib Posca pen here and just doodling those in. And then once they were dry, then I used a white gel pen and just sort of outlined the image really, just to make it pop a little bit more. I was just colouring in the bit there where it overlapped the centre of the book. Then a little bit of asemic writing, a little bit of journaling up the side there, and some mark making. And then I decided that I was going to like almost put a bit of a shadow on the letters. It did take a little bit of thinking about. And I've probably missed all sorts of places where they need to go, but it's okay, it doesn't matter. So I did that on that side, and then I repeated it on the other side as well. And then again, just repeating what I've done on the first pages on these pages at the back. So the botanical doodles, which I'll then outline using the white gel pen. It was a really fun page to do. I really enjoyed this. And that stencil, I have a feeling it's going to be appearing in all sorts of journal pages. I just love how striking it is. And then these are some wonky bits that I have made from a course by Willow Wanders off Instagram. And I just thought I would add those onto the page. A little bit of white as well, which kind of adds to the asemic writing and the outlining of the doodling. It kind of helps to tie it all together. So I thought they worked really well on the page. Then more mark making, just using the white gel pen this time. I love the way the little dots look on the page. I don't know what it is about it, but it's something that I do like to do. And there we go. there's the finished pages. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got this stencil, give it a try. It's fabulous. It's so striking. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.